This week on Hemming's My Classic Car. We travel to Carlisle, Pennsylvania for the first annual All GM Nationals. Sam and Dennis unravel the mysteries of motor oils. And we get an invitation to see the awesome collection of Jim and Rick Schmidt.
Hi, this is Dennis Gage. Thanks for tuning in to My Classic Car, home of the certified car nut. We're here today in Pennsylvania for the first ever Carlisle All GM Nationals. This will be the ultimate GM show with General Motors celebrities, a special Yanko display, the unveiling of the 35th anniversary Camaro, and of course, as always, the Carlisle folks are giving away a car. Every GM mark will have its own spot to be proudly and independently displayed. And the GM Design Garage has opened up and brought some really tasty concept cars for us to drool over. Joining me now is Bill Miller, co-owner of Carlisle Events.
Welcome, Dennis. Nice to have you back to Carlisle again, especially to our first All GM Nationals.
Man, what a show. Now, you guys have been doing mark-specific shows for a while, the granddaddy of them all being Corvettes, and then, of course, you got a nice Ford show, a nice Chrysler show, but finally an All GM show.
After 27 years, you know, we've been doing different shows all those different years. Everybody said to us, why don't you do a General Motors show? Well, guess what, Dennis? They talked us into it, and did they ever support us?
It's just amazing. Now, we're surrounded right now by Camaros, but I guess Camaro's the feature model this year, is that right?
That's correct. The Camaro Club of America has really been behind this event for a long time, trying to push us to do an all General Motors event, and they said, Bill, you do it, we're going to bring out the Camaros, and by darn, they sure did.
Yeah, I'm knee-deep in Camaros, but there's Buicks over there, and Pontiacs over there, and Oldsmobiles. I mean, Caddies, there's everything.
Absolutely, we've got support from every direction, and I'm sure you've seen the General Motors vehicles that are here. There's 36 General Motors archived vehicles, new vehicles, specially manufactured vehicles. We've got just the storehouse came from General Motors.
It's sort of hard to miss it, you know. but you really did get a lot of support from GM on this, baby.
Absolutely.
Didn't you? And the weather's fabulous. I mean, you couldn't ask for more.
We've hit the ultimate weekend.
You guys do it right.
Thank you.
Good first-time show. Now, what do you say we stroll around that car corral and see if we can find a car or two left for me?
There's still a car for Dennis, I'll guarantee.
All right, let's go.
Coming up, Sam and Dennis unravel the mysteries of motor oils, and we check out the first annual All GM Nationals in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Brought to you by Grundy Worldwide Collector Car Insurance.
Well, Dennis, this is a real muscle car. What color is this?
Isn't that beautiful? They called it Limelight for the Cudas. Dodge Challenger had the same paint, but they called it Sublime.
You know all this stuff. That's incredible.
It's a curse. You know, people are always asking Sam and I, where do I find a good mechanic? Who do I go to if I want to keep my car running for a long, long time?
Best thing I can recommend is you start off in your owner's manual and check and see what kind of oil your car takes, because clean, quality motor oil is the best thing you can do for your engine.
That's right. Now, Sam, you're the master mechanic. I want you to educate me on motor oils.
Well, it can be confusing because, you know, you walk into a parts store, it's like a shampoo aisle. There's miles of this stuff. Let's start off. We got some samples here from Valvoline. Now, this is a 10W30 motor oil. It's a conventional motor oil. The SAE grade tells us, and that's Society of Automotive Engineers, it's a 10-weight motor oil, okay? Which means it's nice and thin, it'll move good when it's cold, give you plenty of lubrication. The W means winter operation. That indicates it's a multi-viscosity motor oil. It has an additive in it, it's a viscosity index improver. So when it gets hot, it'll be the same thickness as a 30-weight motor oil at the same temperature.
Now, they made certainly straight weight oils too, straight 30, straight 20.
Sure. Now, you get straight 30-weight oil, straight 20. That's usually farm implements, lawnmowers, stuff like that. Again, always check the manufacturer's recommendations for the engine.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my lawnmower engine doesn't even call for multi-viscosity. They say straight weight.
Absolutely.
Now, you're always talking to me about donuts too. Well, you are always talking to me about donuts, but I'm talking about this donut back here.
One of my favorite foods, but right here is the API donut. It's on the back of the bottle, and it looks just like a donut. It's got a hole in the center, and right there it'll say SAE 20W50, or whatever the SAE grade is. API is the American Petroleum Institute, and this is their classification, what it's rated for. You'll find that in your owner's manual, and this will tell you what this oil handles. This is SJ, CD, SH. This is a real high-performance motor oil right here.
That's a racing oil, actually, 2050, so it's going to be higher viscosity for higher temperature operations.
Sure.
But you, again, check your manual because you may not even be supposed to be using an oil like that.
Absolutely not. This is good for high-performance engines.
Now, an oil I'm using a lot these days is Valvoline's new Max Life. It's an oil specially formulated for higher mileage engines.
I understand. Well, unlike me, you and your fleet are aging. And Valvoline's research has shown that over 2/3 of the cars in America have got over 75,000 miles on them. So this is a conventional SAE 10W30 motor oil, but it's specially formulated to help reduce oil burning, oil burn off, of course, and of course it's got things in it that'll take care of seals so you don't get as many leaks. It's great for an older engine.
I love it. Now, these have all been conventional oils. We move on down to the spectrum to synthetics and synthetic blends.
Right. Well, synthetic just means it's man-made. We've got two different things here. Hold that for me. What you have here is you have Valvoline Dora blend. This is a synthetic blend. It's conventional motor oil, and it's also got some synthetic in it. This is formulated for really tough driving conditions, towing, hauling. Again, it's an SAE 10W30, but it's got some synthetics in it which are better at the cold end of the spectrum and the hot end of the spectrum.
It's going to cost a little more, but it's going to hold up a little better under the extreme conditions.
Sure. But then when you get ultra high performance, maximum protection, this is Valvoline Syn Power. It's a full synthetic, okay, has special additives in it. This is great for the high revving engines, multi-cam motor. This is approved for Mercedes-Benz, Corvette, Lexus, all that stuff requires this kind of oil.
That's what I use in my motorcycle, some of the higher revs that I get out of those.
Sure.
It's great for that.
It is, and it's also good to extend if you extend your oil change intervals a little bit, that works well.
That's right. So it costs a little bit more, but you can keep it in longer. It is worth saying, though, that you change oil not because the oil breaks down, but because the additive packages break down.
Sure. That's not why you change oil. Like you say, it doesn't wear out, but there are additives in this. This is tremendous chemistry in all oils today, okay? The additive, they have detergents and dispersants. So when you pull out the plug, it comes out black as coal, brings that dirt out with it.
And so that black oil coming out's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. It takes all those blow-by contaminants with it. Also, you have any wear additives, anti-scuff additives that are actually consumed in the process of protecting the camshafts and followers and that kind of stuff. And of course, you have anti-corrosive, acid inhibitors, all that stuff, which when it's used up needs to be replenished. Thereby, you change the oil.
So if I want to keep my car running clean and long,
Sure.
consult my owner's manual, make sure I'm using the right stuff, change the oil at the recommended intervals.
With a high-quality oil, and you're going to last a long time.
So if you want to learn any more about oils or anything else we talked about on the show, log on to myclassiccar.com.
And as always, if you're going to buy or sell anything online, log on to Hemmings.com.
Hey, I love this CUDA. I know the owner. It's a driver, got some miles on it. What do you say we do him an oil change with Max Life?
Sure, let's go ahead and take it out, fry the tires, get the oil hot first.
Well, you got to have it hot before you can change it.
Well, that's why I could justify it.
Hemmings Garage has been brought to you by the Eastwood Company, your source for tools and supplies. Next, get ready for the first annual All GM Nationals in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
The turnout at this first-time Carlisle All GM Nationals surprised me, and it surprised the Carlisle folks too. It just goes to show, you don't want to underestimate the GM fans. No matter what GM you fancy, this show had them.
Jack, 66 Toronado. First year for the car, right?
Correct.
This thing's just beautiful. I've always loved these. I mean, they're so big, but they still got good lines.
Yeah, they're a great car.
Now, why did you, why a Toronado?
We had these when I was driving to school. My mom always drove them. My dad raced them.
Your dad raced Toronados?
Yes.
Huh.
It was really different.
Maybe the first person I ever heard of that did that. But yeah, I mean, they're real cruisers, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it's a great road car.
Well, what all features do you have on this?
Got just about every option they put on it. Air conditioning, tilt and travel steering column, power windows, power seat, AM FM radio, rear defroster, power antenna, power trunk.
Jeez, wild speedometer. What's that, the barrel? Or?
Barrel. It's
yeah?
real easy to read.
Is that right? It just
real
rolls
nice.
around, huh?
It just rolls right around.
Now, how long have you had this? When did you buy it?
1983.
And where'd you find it?
Here at Carlisle.
Here at Carlisle. You found it at Carlisle. But what power is the 66?
425.
Oh, 425. Wow.
Yep.
Nice job on the engine bay, too.
Yeah, looked a lot better 10 years ago, but
but you drive it, right?
all the time. I put 11,000 miles on since I restored it.
Well, maybe we take it out for a spin later?
Sure.
Maybe I could drive it?
Sure.
No, you're too easy.
GM showed up in a big way with a boatload of concept cars past and present. We caught up with John Moss, manager of GM's Special Vehicle Group. Now this is a guy who has a job that's even more fun than mine.
Well, I've been called the master of the toy closet and a myriad of different names. And we have established, quite frankly, a really fine collection of not only historic vehicles, but some of these rare concepts to some of the production-based concepts. It's kind of interesting to see, like the Cyclone over there. That hasn't been seen a lot in many, many years. And also you bring that out and everybody just like stops them in their tracks. They say, wow, where did you see that thing? You've never seen it before.
There was a cornucopia of cool cars and trucks at this event. Just look at this stunning Skylark.
This is a beautiful 53 Buick Skylark. This is really a landmark car.
It sure is. It was Buick's 50th anniversary car.
Gorgeous, and you've had this for quite a while.
Since 1964.
Wow. Now they didn't make many of them, right?
No, 1,690 to be exact.
That's
and they were all convertibles.
Is that right? Well, you've done a beautiful job in the restoration of it.
Thank you.
I want to see the trunk. Now this came with the wire wheels, right?
Exactly. They came with the wire wheels. Kelsey Hayes
Hayes.
And tried to keep the original green on the spare. And
well, there's a lot of interesting design features on this car that were very different. The high radius wheel well.
Exactly. This was the only Buick in 53 that had it, and then in 54 they all had it. So everybody liked the design.
And it's also, it looks chopped.
It was chopped at the factory about 3 inches.
So it's a chopped. This thing was a rod coming off the line.
It was a custom coming off the line. If you'll notice the rolled and pleated interior, some other things that a lot of the customizers had during the 50s.
Well, the interior is gorgeous. That's two-tone leather?
Two-tone leather. It came in 4 color combinations.
Now, this was the first year for the V8, too.
First year for the V8.
Let's look at it.
First year for the 12-volt. Notice the inside hood release,
yes,
which has come back recently.
Wow, that must be an oil bath.
It's an oil bath air cleaner. 322 cubic inches, 188 horsepower.
It's a beautiful car. Close her up. Maybe we'll take it out.
That sounds good.
Man, just look at all these GM parts. Kind of gives you goosebumps, doesn't it? And speaking of parts, let's check out this week's Classic Car Marketplace.
Golden State Parts has been the leader in 47 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck parts since 1973, including many hard-to-find parts. Visit our retail stores in Anaheim, California and Carson City, Nevada. For your free catalog, call 888-536-6668 or visit our website at gspp.com. Need parts for your classic Mustang, Camaro, Chevelle El Camino Malibu, or Firebird? Then get your free catalog from National Parts Depot, the nation's fastest restoration parts supplier. Most orders delivered complete in just 1 to 3 business days. Call 888-893-FAST now for your free catalog. NPD, the wise choice. When restoring a classic car, wouldn't it be great if you could go back in time to get all the essential parts you need? Now you don't have to with Classic Industries full-color catalogs. With catalogs for Camaro, Chevy Truck, Impala, Nova, and Firebird Trans Am, you have access to the greatest original and reproduction parts anywhere. Call anytime, toll-free, 888-GM-CATALOG. Just wait until you see the awesome collection of Jim and Rick Schmidt.
Over the last several years, we've heard rumors about a neat car collection in Ocala, Florida, owned by Jim and Rick Schmidt of National Parts Depot. These guys eat, sleep, and live the collector car hobby, and the rumors did not prepare us for their breathtaking collection.
Jim, this is fantastic. How many cars do you have in here?
There are 130 spread out in the room.
Man, and everything from brass era, like a 1911 white. I love the color, kind of the great pumpkin there.
Right.
Some 1930 Lincolns here?
Yes, that's a 30L series Sport Phaeton.
That's restored green. I love. I'm a sucker for green cars. But that one's restored. These are originals, right?
Yes, these are also 30L series. It's important that we see how men did things back then as they did it.
And a huge portion of your collection, though, is unrestored. How much?
Oh, 3/4 is unrestored.
I mean, that's unheard of. This is a big collection to have that many cars in original condition.
Well, we've made a conscious attempt. It's a good reference point for us.
Oh, now there's one I've always liked. The Packard here, 56 Packard. I tend to think of this as a Caribbean, but this is the 400, right?
Yes, very similar to the Caribbean. Has different exterior chrome treatments, but essentially the same car.
I always thought of the color scheme of these as good and plenty candy. It's
Right. They're beautiful, outrageous even.
Boy, and sitting right next to it is another extremely rare car. It's a Mark II in a color that I've never seen.
Well, that is William Clay Ford's personal color, Honolulu blue, with blue and silver interior.
Looks like the Detroit Lions.
It sure does. He owns the team.
So I guess he can have the car that way too.
Right.
So it was his personal car. Now,
yes.
You were saying that this, now these were powered by originally a 368 V8, great engine, but
Yes.
this one's been modified?
This one in the winter of '68 was modified in engineering with a new 460 and a C6 and disc brakes and other modern refinements, and then Mr. Ford continued to drive it for many years after. These are important to our family. That was the first really sharp car we had.
Really sharp indeed. Now this is also a milestone car, isn't it?
Yes, this is the actual 50 millionth Chevrolet produced and was driven off the line with great ceremony by Nelson Rockefeller back in '63, given to him for a short time.
So he was cruising around in this?
Yes, for just a few days, and then it went back to General Motors.
How many miles on this car?
Well, when I received it 10 years ago, it had 92 miles. It's approaching 100 now.
Unbelievable. You got T-Birds over here. You've got a 64 Continental there with the electric shaver grille.
Yes, yeah, those are a classic.
Now these are a couple original Fords.
Those are two new 500 XL Fords.
Never driven.
Never driven.
Oh, now there's one I've always liked. That's a unique one.
The Boat Tail Riviera.
The Boat Tail Riv. Now that was certainly a fairly radical styling exercise.
For the time, it truly was. Well, other cars were very conservative. The Riviera broke ground.
Gosh, you know, the boat tail back, the louvered trunk I think was 71 only. And then they closed those up because they made these, what, 3 years, I think, 1, 2, and 3.
And the lines of the car truly are a styling statement.
Well, and there's certain things that are so Buick, you know, like the big radius rear fender wells, like the old 53 Skylark, you know. Let's look at those wheels.
Right, and elegant wheels to look at, too.
Beautiful car, and the interior is stunning, too. I mean, it's just different all around. There's got to be something here that we could maybe take out and cruise around in. I mean, something that's got more than 92 miles on it.
Oh, yes, there's a 56 Cadillac down there that
always
is
liked one of those.
ready to go.
Well, let's go check it out. Ooh, 56 Caddy Coupe de Ville, very nice.
And it's green, too.
It doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah. It's my son, Rick.
Hey, hi, how are you doing?
Nice
Dennis?
to
Nice to meet you.
So this is a car we're taking out cruising?
Mm-hmm, this is, and you're going to be driving.
Ooh.
I've driven everything in here already, so no
Seriously?
point in me hogging the driver's seat. There's the original key fob. It's got 14,500 original miles on it, so I hope it's not too worn out for you.
That's just broken in. You come with us?
I am going to enjoy watching.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy driving. Let's go.
Let's go.
Beautiful car. Oh, and the fit.
Hemming's My Classic Car will be back after this short break. Brought to you by Grundy Worldwide Collector Car Insurance.
It's not every day a person gets to drive a 1956 Cadillac, and certainly not an unrestored original Caddy with only 14,000 miles on it.
Rick, this is absolutely beautiful.
Isn't this a great car?
Oh.
I love these old 50s Cadillacs. When you're a kid growing up, when I was in grade school, all you thought about was the muscle cars, but you have to just go out in one of these old Cadillacs and cruise around to really.
Well, it's addicting. It really is. And
it's an entirely different experience. Everything on this car runs and drives right. So often on these old hydromatic transmissions that I get in them, and nobody has the right tools to adjust the sequencing of the gears properly, and the cars just never seem to shift right.
This shifts beautifully.
Well, you're on factory settings because this transmission's never been out of the car.
Unbelievable. Oh, Rick, what an experience. I love this car. Thanks for letting me drive
It's
it.
been my pleasure. It's been my
Wonderful.
pleasure. We've still got a quarter tank of gas left. Let's use it up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm in heaven. Caddy heaven. Man, if the Carlisle All GM Nationals doesn't quench your thirst for cool GM cars, nothing will. All these GM makes and models gathered together in one place was truly a beautiful thing. And how about those radical GM concept cars? If you're interested in attending this event, or any of the fine Carlisle events, just contact the folks at Carlisle for registration and hotel information.
Next week, we'll be just outside Music City in Goodlettsville, Tennessee to take part in Chevelabration. Sam and I replace a vacuum-powered windshield wiper motor with the latest technology, and we'll blast down to Florida to visit Big Daddy Don Garlett's and tour his museum.
So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring.
If you'd like information on how to purchase a VHS copy of this program or how to purchase the products that we've demonstrated, visit myclassiccar.com. While you're visiting our website, give us your story ideas. And remember, when you're trying to buy or sell anything automotive, check out Hemmings.com, the Bible of the hobby since 1954. Promotional consideration has been provided by Golden State Parts, NPD, National Parts Depot, Classic Industries, and by Valvoline.